Alright, don't know how long this is going to go, but we're going to play an open random match with Piggyman for giggles. We got second turn. I've already played a bit today against Elial, and he was completely wrecking me, but I held on with ties. So hopefully this goes a little better. Um, That 3757 and 3766 don't make a very good impression together. I have two eights in the hand, down and left. Does that matter? He has eights in every direction, so it might. Luckily, I have his 8-8 corner very nicely covered. I also have really good play against his 7-8 corner. Both of them I have covered both ways with plus walls. So my hand might just line up beautifully to cover threats. One potential idea for him is 7, 5, 5, 6, and 7, pointing out that my only way to take from 4, 7, 2, 8, 5, he can combo back with 5, 5, 8, 4. That might be something he could do, but he is also somewhat limited in taking it back. Is 5, 5, 8, 4 the only card that can take back in 4? Maybe I can find a way to play against that. Also, 7, 5, 5, 6, and 7 might not be a move his other cards want to see. Right, his 4, 6, 4, 8. The 4, 6, 4 part can pick off 8s to the right, but I don't have any, and it doesn't play well against 7s. So it mostly wants to be right facing, right? So the 8 plays better. The 8, 8, 2, 1 wants to be right facing. So 7, 5, 5, 6 jumps out as plausible, but I'm not sure the hand really supports it. Piggyman is a really high corner rate starter player, as am I, as is Deli. I think Piggyman has the highest corner starting rate of all of us, but I'm not sure. I also have him as the best starter finder of anyone in my random sample. Now, how do my numbers actually match up? My 7s to the right beat everything but 7, 1, 4, 8, but 3, 7, 5, 7 can fight it well on the bottom row. Going up, I have some 7s. They can beat anything but the downward 8. And the downward 8 they can fight with if on the left. So I might want the game to be oriented such that the left and bottom rows are empty, so that when those fill up, they are, necessarily going to dominate those spaces. To the right, he has a bunch of 8s, so my 8 to the left can beat 3 things, but my 6 and 7s are kind of just as good. The 5s are a good deal worse. And going down, I have an 8, some 7s. The 8 beats everything but one card. The 7s has a better chance of fighting that card, 7, 4, 7, 5. And also fights pretty well against the 7s, but isn't going to sweep anything. So I think I'm more likely to end up sweeping in a side-to-side game than an up-down game. Which I don't think is obvious looking at my hand because, the top and bottom card are up-down. The second and third card are kind of side-to-side. The fourth card's a little more side-to-side, but is kind of just not a very good card. So, not obvious. But even without the 5, 3, 4, 8 in my hand, I think, given the matchup, I would prefer a side-to-side game. And we'll see how he starts. I don't think this is an obvious start. Another possible start is like 8, 8, 2, 1, and 3. Just saying this corner is probably never going to play well. But I think that wouldn't be right. I think the 8s are pretty powerful. And I think it would be an okay starter, but I think saying, the 8, 8, 2, 1 is bad as a safe corner, that means it's not going to be a very good card this game. I think would be a misevaluation. I think, the same kind of comparison of numbers, both of them can take 4 or 5 cards. If the game's at all directed upright, that will find uses. And he finds a way to direct it upright. Now, I have the capture, and one thing that draws me to check the capture with 5, 3, 4, 8 is it has an 8 facing 5, and that can often be a really powerful effect. Probably not here, though. But it can be a powerful effect because if he recaptures in 2, I can potentially play 9 and have this sort of double safety setup. So if I went 5, 3, 4, 8, and 6, I think that's actually a very worth considering move. He goes in 2, I go 9, suddenly 6 is safe. Now, if I go 9 with... how would we do this? That's probably not actually a good idea. One other square I'm thinking about in just kind of vague terms is 4, but I don't think that's very reasonable. It would just make the game more side to side. There's also, of course, adjacent corner plays. Something like 5, 3, 4, 8 in 9 is possible. It's possible. Actually, he has no downs. Is that just safe to his hand? That was his only card with serious down power. I did not realize that. I should have had that in mind from looking through his directional strengths and kind of mentioning what's a direction he's likely to drop off in, and should have immediately recognized he now has a serious down issue. So 5, 3, 4, 8 in 9 is already safe. And if he goes 7, 1, 4, 8 in 6, which I think is a natural reply, I can go 2, potentially have good play in 2. Specifically 3, 7, 5, 7 comes to mind because it sets up a threat of 7, 4, 7, 5, and 5. Though that might be bad because I don't actually have a recapture in 2. I can also just go in 8, of course. Don't really have a setup in 8, but that doesn't mean it's not a useful square. I actually don't have to go near the action there, but I think I would want to. So the one downside of that move is I'm not great going right, and I will have to start using up my right power pretty quickly, I think. I don't see a real way to hold on to much right power. So that's a bit of a downer. I almost like 7, 2, 8, 5, and 7. I think that's an interesting move because it's really hard for him to directly address, and I threaten to block an 8. And if he goes 7, 1, 4, 8 to capture, that's the only card he can capture with I can't combo. And if he goes that way, I still just take it. My card will be safe. That will be safe. I won't have a threat on 7, 2, 8, 5 itself, but he also just used up the card that would be safe in 6 at the end too. And so I'll potentially have stuff to attack. So I think I'm going to try this. It also seemed to me like the worst card in my hand. Right? Facing upright, like the 3, 7, 5, 7 and 3, 7, 6, 6, I think are just really powerful cards. In the sense that like they're the ones that face the action in a useful way. The 7, 4, 7, 5 still has pretty good coverage of some of their stronger corners. The 5, 3, 4, 8 has potential safety on board, which makes it a pretty powerful effect. And I still threaten potentially to play 5, 3, 4, 8 in the near future. But I also like that 5, 3, 4, 8 is my threat in 6, so I wanted to find a way to hold on to it. So to me, this seemed like the most useful way to use my weakest card. And I do have a real threat to go in 8 next, right? Like if I play 3, like, if we just skip, pretend it's my turn this turn, I might play something like 3, 7, 6, 6, and 8. And it's hard for him to go 9 because he either doesn't capture, or if he does with 7-1-4-8, I have a potential combo on it. I don't think I walk into anything at the end there. And so just potentially seems, you know, like a threat that might force him to need to go an 8 immediately. Right? Because, like, if he went in 5 here, for instance, I think I would almost certainly play an 8 and feel pretty decent about my chances. Usually, unless like my hand has a massive advantage, which I don't think is the case, my goal is to just find something that kind of neutralizes the game. I think Deli did a fantastic job at this against me earlier today, where we played 2 games and both I had just a starter that was just safe. And so I have this safe starter. Both times he had messy hands with directional weaknesses. And he just, especially in the second game, so I started in 7, and he just made a move in 9 that just completely clarified the game. He made a serious threat in 8 that I thought I had to block, and then he had a planned L going in 6 after that created a threat in 5, and just very clearly forced a tie really early. And that doesn't mean it wasn't ambitious, because if I didn't go 8, or if I tried to do something creative, I could get myself in trouble. But he just kind of immediately neutralized my first turn advantage and then could play from there, right? And I do think first turn is some advantage, and I'm just looking to find something that's going to give me like a clear path to a game that makes sense, that I'm going to play well in, hopefully. And here, I think kind of one of the rationales of opposite corners is, do you pose them, does your corner pose them as big problems as their corner poses you? And I think here the answer is my corner might pose them bigger problems than their corner poses me, right? Like, I have their corner addressed both ways. They do not have my corner addressed both ways. The ways I could take their corner, they don't have much combo play against. 3, 7, 6, 6, and 2, they can combo from 1. But they have relatively minimal combo play against. While their play against my corner, I have lots of potential combos, right? 7, 5, 5, 6, and 8, I can plus wall with 5, 3, 4, 8. 4, 8, 4, 6. In 8, I can plus wall with 3, 7, 5, 7. Now that actually, come to think of it, might be a nice move for them. 4, 8, 4, 6, and 8. That might be a good move. Because if I play 3, 7, 5, 7, and 9, they can play 7, 1, 4, 8, and 6. And that's going to be safe, and the score will be 5-5, and they'll have a threat on my card in 8. I will have a threat on their card in 3, but their threat on my card in 8 is in general worth more, because they can hit the card in 8 while locking in their card in 6, while I hit the card in 3, I can lock that in, but I don't achieve any second goal. Alright. So he gets rid of the only card that didn't have a capture on board against my starter. Did he create a threat in 4 against my starter? He did not. Therefore, there is some case for just going 8, which was kind of my intent. Now, if I go 8, he can go 4, and the card in 4 will likely be safe, as will the card in 1. So he's sort of threatening a double lock-in. Okay. Thinking. Now, I don't really want to go in 9, because then they can go in 8. I don't have the recapture in 4 either, right? I don't have the recapture in 4. Maybe 5 makes sense here. He doesn't have cards that look like they're going to be very good in multiple squares. So I guess 4846 is going to have at least a double capture in 2, at least a double capture in 4 after I put a card in 5. That might not help. Yeah, I think if I go 5, they just go 4 anyway. Okay. So if I go 4 and force the action, say with 3766, I think they likely go 2. It's 5-5. Say I go 5-3-4-8. I don't really want to use that. Can I go 7-4-7-5-5? I go up 6-4. I give them a huge combo in 8, but if they take it, I counter combo in 6 with 3-7-5-7. And they don't have a combo back at the end. So I think they can't take the combo. They just go in 6 there, and they go in 6 there, and I lose. Yeah. Okay. All right. I go 4. They go 2. I take the plus wall in 6. Does that do anything? I don't think so. All right. Why did I dismiss 3766 in 8? I think I thought they go 4 with 4846. I should probably be able to go 9 there. I can go 9 there. Yeah, I think I can go 9 there. So I think I'm going to just go an 8. That was sort of my intended game plan. I don't think they have a good way to go in 5. Yeah, let's do it. We lock in a card. I should let my computer with the chat go to sleep. Let's see if anything's happened over there. Nope. I have coverage of anything they could put in 9. I do think 4 is the best square for him. And I don't think 4 is particularly hard to find. And I thought I went 9 there. And I think we head pretty straightforwardly to a tie. So 4-8, 4-6, and 4. I could try to be cute and go 7-4, 7-5, and 9 instead of 5-3, 4-8. Not sure if that works. The point is I actually keep my threat for 6, and also I give them a plus wall with 7-1, 4-8 in 6, but if they play it, I hit them back with a 3-7, 5-7, and 5. But I don't even think that gets me all that much. Oh, I guess because it flips 4, it flips 1, and 7, 5, 5, 6 doesn't actually flip 1 back. So that's an idea to keep in mind if they go in 4, is that I have multiple options of things to try in 9. They do go in 4. Okay. So let's just go through the options in 9, because I think that's the critical square. 7, 4, 7, 5, and 9. If they go 7, 5, 5, 6 in 6, I guess I'm gonna, well, either take it or not take it. Either way, we tie from 5. So that's a tie. If they go 7, 1, 4, 8, and 6, they go up 6, 4. I combo 3 cards back. I go up 7, 3 when I go in 5, and I win 6, 4. If they go in 5 with 7, 5, 5, 6, I still have 5, 3, 4, 8 up, so I can play that in 6 and I win. If they go with 7, 1, 4, 8, and 5, there's no random combos there, is there? That's just going to be a tie because I'm going to take back 1 card. If they go in 4 with 7, 1, 4, 8, I can... Well, I can tie a bunch of ways there, I think. For instance, 5, 3, 4, 8, and 5. I'd be up 6, 4. They take 1 back. We tie. But I think there's a few paths to a tie there. And if 7, 5, 5, 6, and 2, I think I'm playing 5, 3, 4, 8, and 6. And that should be a tie. 9, 12, 16, 7. Yeah. It's okay. I can go 7, 4, 7, and 9. The other option was 5, 3, 4, 8, which was the option I was starting out on. If they play 7, 5, 5, 6 in 4 and 6, sorry, I win with 7, 4, 7, 5, and 5. If they play 7, 1, 4, 8, and 6, I believe I win with 3, 7, 5, 7, and 5. So they can't go 6 there. If they go 7, 5, 5, 6, and 5, I did not keep 5, 3, 8, 4. So I can only single capture it and we tie. I can also same it from 2. Does that even do anything? Not really. Alright, and if they go 7, 1, 4, 8, and 5, is that what I just looked at? What did I just look at? Alright, 7, 5, 5, 6, and 5 is a tie. 7, 1, 4, 8, and 5 is a tie. 7, 1, 4, 8 in 2. I gotta play 3, 7, 5, 7, and 5, but I do tie. And 7, 5, 5, 6, and 2. I guess I have to play 7, 4, 7, 5, and 5, and I tie. Alright, so that's all ties. Not sure where else a reasonable chance would be to not tie this game. 5, 3, 4, 8, and 6? No. Alright, I don't really have a preference here, so I will do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We'll do you. Alright. I think a good first game. I think his move in 1 was pretty good. In that, I think I would bet I had a lot of ties against it, but it was hard to find a clear line, and thus I think it kept the game alive nicely. I think this is just a pretty good, pretty balanced game. Yeah. No complaints. Maybe I had a better way to exploit their down weakness. I didn't really see one. Like, if I could have gone an 8, maybe I would have, but, like, I couldn't, you know? There wasn't a card that fit nicely there, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure there was a move that wasn't losing, but, like, there wasn't a move that appealed as a way to apply pressure. So, good first game. Let's check out Piggy's account. 5,000 games played. We got this TTAC 8 quarterfinals. We got Rhinoa 5. That could be another quarterfinals. Yep. We got Sid think this will be a semis. Yeah, because he lost to Great Sephiroth in the semis. I also lost in the semis of Sid. We got a Ward semis, and we got a Rufus semis. I think I beat him in that one. Yeah. But 3 semis. I've often argued Piggy is the best player to never win. Oh, I should put down the moves of this game for my database. What am I doing? I've sort of moved off that to like it's chickeny. And I think overall it kind of has to be chickeny. But Pigs may reclaim that throne. So what did we get this game? 5, 5, 8, 4, and 3. 7, 2, 8, 5, and 7. 8, 8, 2, 1, and 1. 3, 7, 6, 6, and 8. 4, 8, 4, 6, and 4. 5, 3, 4, 8, and 9. 7, 1, 4, 8, and 2. And what's our tie here? It's not 7, 4, 7, 5, and 5 walking into a plus. It is instead 3, 7, 5, 7, and 5. Not walking into a plus. Alright, nice first game. Feel pretty good about that one. Piggy, tremendously strong player. Piggy thought he was winning after the move in 4. Yeah, makes sense. Like, he has 2 locked-in cards to mine 1, and moves like 5, 3, 4, 8. I have to be pretty specific to make sure tie. Yeah, you definitely got the better edge of that one. As I've said repeatedly, I think Piggy is just about as dangerous a first-turn player as there is. I wonder if I had a better way to neutralize it early, but I feel pretty good about my first move. I think if there was a shaky move there, it was my second move, which suggests his move 3 of the game was really good. Alright, I will read this from Piggy because he says he finds it really impressive how you play and talk at the same time for my videos. LOL. Thank you. Alright, I'm supposed to put up the rule set. Oh, I don't wanna change the but okay. Let's go. What did we do last time? Let's go 5, 6. I always say 5s have a good ability to compete on levels other than their own. But it is hard to talk and play. I think it's actually a useful improvement tool in a lot of games. And I'm not sure I'm getting much from it because I think it blocks off my ability to calculate too much. And calculation is just too important to how I play and what I need to be doing well for me to be playing well. For talking while playing to be something that's all that good for my game. But I really recommend this in general, especially if you do less calculation anyway, is even if you're not playing against anyone. I did this in chess for a while, and it helps if you're like recording and sticking stuff on YouTube, but just like explaining as if you're talking to someone else why you're doing what you're doing. And like part of it is that you have to come up with a logic for each position. And I think some players... And it's fine to be doing this, but like if you're focused on improvement, obviously this isn't ideal. Kind of, well, that move feels like what I want to be doing. Instead of kind of like you start to have to filter out, okay, is capturing here actually useful, right? And so I just recorded a video where I was talking about a closed game I played where I started in 5 and the opponent captured from 4. And I talked a lot about how if you're going to meet a center with a side move, a center starter with a side move, in closed especially, um, the thing most good players will either slide next to it, mean not affect it, and have a low number facing it, such that the card you just played, if that's ever taken later, you have combo potential through the card in 5 to retake your card. Or, similarly commonly, play a matching number, and then it doesn't matter so much whether you flip it or not, because you've made sure that the combo chain is kept short. And so, like, one reason to make moves in closed, especially on second turn, is to keep combo chains short. And if you're kind of looking at the position and thinking, okay, what are reasons to make a side move? One is cut those combo chains short. You start saying that kind of reason, and sometimes, by the way, Piggy's grabbing water, so we're not like expecting our game to have been taken yet. And sometimes that's just really going to be useful because it's going to help kind of stick it in your head. And if you say, okay, here's an idea, and you keep saying it and you keep losing those games, I think you have a better chance to notice the mistake the more you've verbalized it and said it aloud. You also have a greater chance for it to lock into your head, but the idea is to start saying things that you think are good concepts, useful concepts, and just keep verbalizing them and have to verbalize them, having to find the logic of the position. All right, so we got second turn again here. And I guess on that note, we're just going to try to talk about logic of positions. So again, always worth, this is open, so we want to check their directional weakness as well as our own. I notice they have a 6 and a 5 to the right, but otherwise are pretty weak there. The random also has a 7 to the left and 7's up. Now, I don't have more than 7 down, so it's not like I have that dominated. My hand, I have an 8 going up, they have an 8 going down. I have a couple 7s to the left that are not well matched by his hand. So if the game ends up on the left side of the board, I potentially have a big advantage, right? I'm going to have cards that can take whatever he has. I'm always going to be able to have threats against them. Going right, I have a 7. They have a 7 going left. Also some 6s. Those are tough numbers for me to take, right? My hand is almost entirely reliant on 7, 7, 4, 4 for right taking action. So I got to be really careful about using that card, right? The logic of this position says that is the most important card in my hand, and I would like the game to be left facing and will feel really crummy if the game is right facing. So that already, gives me some ideas for what kind of squares I might be looking at. Going down, I have a 7 down. They have a couple 7s up. I have some tools to work around that. 5, 3, 6, 7 gives away to plus wall. But all in all, they have some cards that might be tricky for me to take. I am lucky that I have plus wall potential. 5, 3, 6, 7 stops them from just auto playing 6, 1, 8, 7, and 3. And it also potentially stops them auto playing 7, 4, 5, 6 or 7, 2, 6, 6 in 9. So 5, 3, 6, 7 could also be a really critical card for keeping the game under control. And even if it wasn't to take immediately, which it probably would because they have no recaptures, because his hand isn't very good going right either, Both our hands are pretty poor going right. But like even if I wasn't to take, 7, 2, 6, 6, and 9 immediately, another move that makes some sense would be something like 4, 6, 3, 7, and 5. But again, its ability to threaten in 6 is keeping this from being really dangerous, I think. Hopefully. All right. The game is right-oriented. We want it to be right-oriented, but so do they, and maybe I should be putting more focus in balancing that interest. 5, 3, 6, 7, and 3 jumps out. Specifically because 7, 2, 6, 6, and 6, I have the combo with 8, 4, 4, 6. It is somewhat dangerous to use my 5, 3, 6, 7, but potentially not so dangerous here. Because if they play 6, 1, 8, 7 in 2, I have another way to address it. Maybe they can just play 6, 1, 8, 7 in 6. But that's going to concede 9 to me, right? If they take safety in 6, I will take safety in 9. And they may not have safety to take in 8. Because 8, 4, 4, 6, if 6, 1, 8, 7s, and 6 will cover 7s up in 8. They do sort of threaten to go in 8, right? I don't have a capture in 4. So I could potentially go in 1. It is very likely I'd have a good L, because they can't have a high number facing out from 4. So I think there's a lot of promise to going for the L. If I go in 3 and they go in 8, I don't have a great thing to do in 9. So it might be tricky for me to find a next move there. But what would they put in 8? No, now I'm thinking maybe 1 is the answer here. But I'm not sure which card I'd want to put there, actually. Eight, 4, 4, 6 sets up a threat. Don't love it. But it is really easy for me to get a decent L after. I think. Maybe not that clean. Problem with 3 was I think they go 8. I'm not sure quite how I address the move in 8. Could also do something like 4, 6, 3, 7, and 5. It doesn't really concede a card that ever matters. Its right power might matter. It's the only card that can go side to side well. So I think 4, 6, 3, 7, and 5, maybe 3, 5, 7, 5 in 1 could be annoying. Yeah, it could be annoying. Alright, I've not found a plan I'm all that happy with. I'm between 1 and 3. Not really sure what card to put in 1. Let's go 3. Don't love it. If they go 8, it depends what card they go. But I think it's a shame I won't have like 8, 4, 4, 6, and 9 ever. But I think I'll probably have something okay to do in 6. And if I don't, maybe I can get away with 2. No, now I'm liking less and less how I played this. I guess it depends heavily on which card they put in 8. I would love to see 5, 3, 6, 6 out of their hand. 5, 6, 6, 3. Because then it would be easy to play like 6, 3, 7, 5, and 6. And I set up this really big threat in 5 that is very useful to me. And they also give up all right root powers. So, like, that's the card I want out of their hand. I would also be... 6187, I'm not sure how I'd deal with. Yeah, I don't know. Potentially, I could play like 4, 6, 3, 7, and 9. because it would set me up to have 7, 2, 2, 6, and 6 covered. So potentially I can just play 9 there and be in decent shape. Because if they, yeah. That seems quite plausible, actually. If they go with 7, 2, 6, 6, they give up their threat in 4. So that should open up options for me. And I would probably play 7, 7, 4, 4, and 9. Yeah, that looks difficult to meet. So we're left with 3, 5, 7, 5. There was some reason I thought I had play if that card was out of their hand. What was it? Ah, the 3 up means my 4, 6, 3, 7 has 6s from the left covered in 6. So it's hard for them to put 7, 2, 6, 6, and 6. And the 3 means I also, with 6, 3, 7, 5, have 7. So it's hard for them to put 6, 1, 8, 7. So if they use that card, it is much harder for them to go in 6 later, and maybe I'll have a decent way to occupy 6. Occupy 9, because it's hard for them to go in 6. Sorry. What was that? Chapstick fell off the table. Excellent. So hopefully it's a little tricky for them to go in 8. Again, I'm sort of just focusing on the logical moves. Why is 8 the logical move? Because if we look at their card on board, I have no attack on it from 4. I have multiple ways of taking it from 8, so blocking 8 seems logical. And the question is, can I survive against that? Against moves in 8, one of the main squares to go in is 4. If I can take, I cannot take, so I won't look at 4 until I look up at a bunch of other moves. If not 4, I think the next most common move is 9, followed by 6, followed by 2. So I'm just kind of looking through in that order. And I just think that's the reasonable order to look through. But my main goal here was, this is a difficult card to deal with that I just played. But more than that, I think it's not easy for them to stick a card in 8. I think every card they could play in 8, I have some reason that it's a little tricky. Usually 6. All right, they go there. My idea against this was A, they've lost all right power. B, they've lost their double number facing down right. So if I set up 8, 4, 4, 6, and 5, I'm not also setting them up. So 6, 3, 7, 5 in 6 looks like a real possibility here. We're going to move so far for the database. 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 3, 6, 7, 3, 5, 6, 6, 3, 8. So my idea here was 6, 3, 7, 5, and 6, which importantly cuts off any attack they have of my card in 3. It immediately threatens to go in 9 because they have nothing for 5 and they have nothing for 2. And if they go in 9, I can play 8, 4, 4, 6, and 5. I won't combo anything extra unless they play like 3, 5, 7, 5, and 9. But that is going to put me up 6, 4, and their only capture on board will be 6, 1, 8, 7 in 2. And depending on what they have left, I can potentially meet that with either 7, 7, 4, 4, and 4, or 7, 7, 4, 4, and 2. And I'll still have 4, 6, 3, 7 in my hand, so if they played something like 2 there, like 4 there instead of 2, I can block 2. So I think 6, 3, 7, 5, and 6 is just really logical here. And from the kind of perspective of, I want to go 4 to lock in a card. I have no way to lock it in. I want to go 9 if I have safety there. I don't have safety there. A second reason would be if I could set up some combo play. And I do have some combo play there. For instance, 7, 7, 4, 4, and 9 makes a bunch of sense in some ways, but I can't combo 6, 1, 8, 7, and 4 and 6. I can combo 3, 5, 7, 5. I also can't combo 7, 2, 6, 6. So no, that's not making sense. That was only relevant in other lines. I don't have safety in 9. I don't have pseudo safety in 9. The next square I look at in 6, I have a pretty promising move in 6, I think. One reason I'm not really looking at 2, besides kind of not liking that square, is despite it often being good, it's just not a move I tend to find much. is that I don't particularly love the idea of an up-down game. Their hand seems more up-down, and it also leaves my card in 3 vulnerable while 6 blocks it in. Usually for 6 to work, you have to have a serious threat in 5, ideally not shared. Sometimes they can block 5 immediately, and if they can block 5 and set up a combo in 2, that can be really dangerous, but they don't have that here. So I think after this move, Piggy has to be really careful. I think unlike last game, this game, I have found... Last game, I had to be careful to tie. And as said, he thought he was winning, which was reasonable. You know, he had a nice onboard advantage. Like, the structural things were in his favor, right? Because I was threatening to go in 8 last game, and he'd made a nice move in 1, meaning if I did go in 8, he had a very strong rejoinder in 4, which is how the game continued. Here, with him having given up all rightward power so early, it's really hard for him to deal with this right-facing game, and that's another reason to go 6 rather than 2. And this is also just like, speaking out the logic of the game can help. And obviously I do it at a high level, but whatever level you're at, it's still worth doing. Actually, I don't think anyone will do this, but if someone wanted to record them playing and talking through moves, not to like publish to the world, but just to send to me, I would really happily watch and kind of give some comments. And I try not to do it in like, you were thinking about this. The right thing would have been to think about that. It instead should be like, take your thoughts and make them a little better, right? Give you a few more tools to see a little more deeply on the kind of things you're checking. Like, clearly you like to do this type of move. How can we make that type of move the best it can be, right? I think that would be pretty interesting. I did do a video. Most of my videos, when I make videos about players, are celebrating them. I did do a video just for Turds when he was having a down spell, kind of talking through what I thought, just looking at his games, what I thought wasn't going as well. He played better since. Did that have anything to do with my video? I don't think so, but I'd like to take credit. I think it's just, you know, sometimes you're not seeing something for some time, and then you start playing a bit more and you start seeing more things. I didn't have any, like, he doesn't see this type of move because Turd sees all types of moves, right? So there wasn't some, like, big breakthrough or anything. But I think that would be really cool, actually. I've also been thinking it would be fun to record some calls where someone's playing and talking about their moves with me, or I'm playing and talking about my moves with someone else. And this might be the best way to approach talking about close strategy, just hearing multiple people say what they think are the reasonable moves and why, and seeing those perspectives where they differ and where they're similar. And so if you had, you know, 2 great close players like Delion and Turds or something like that, chatting about each looking at the hand and thinking, what would they do with this hand? Where they had similar instincts and where they differed, I think would be really useful to see. And also, not even just in the move they'd pick, but like, maybe they're deciding between the same 3 moves, but reliably decide differently within those 3 moves. Maybe they reliably look at, you know, one similar move and a couple different moves, but actually end up on the same move most of the time, even though they're looking at pretty different moves overall. So I think that would be a cool way to approach closed. But yeah, I really think the kind of, if you want to focus on the logic of your play, right? If you want to focus on calculation, talking while playing is just not good. If you want to focus on kind of setting a wide range of candidate moves and looking for a lot more possibilities, if you're talking everything's going to come slower, you won't have that, right? If you're trying to focus on making yourself look for a specific thing, making sure you talk and see that thing. Like, let's say you're thinking, it looks really useful when Was Up like talks about the directions at the start of a game. I don't do that. I want to get in the habit of doing that. Oh, that does set up a threat in 2. I missed they had a way to do this. All right, nicely spotted. Yeah, I missed this possibility. Bad job, me. So, all right. So first plausible move is 4-6-3-7 in 9. If they go in 1 or 4, I just win because they have no rightward power. But their point is he's going to go 7-2-6-6 in 2. And that's a tie. Now, if I start in 2, both their cards are a threat in 9. So I think that just is bad for me. If I start in like 1, I think the problem is they block 6. I do anything clever starting in 1, like 7-7-4-4 in 1. No, it doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. 4-6-3-7? Doesn't really do anything either. And lastly, 8-4-4-6. 8-4-4-6 could conceivably do something. It just happens not to. All right. I don't have anything good for 2, so blocking 4 doesn't make any sense. I may have been getting squares mixed up. So I think this is a really nice save by Piggy. This is kind of the classic way to save these positions when it goes bad. I just totally missed it set up too. At the end of me talking about the move, I said the important thing to check at the end of this is do they have 5? And I thought I checked it, and I did not properly check it. So very nicely found. Piggy, as always, great player. So we both had a game this series where we thought we were winning, but the opponent found a really nice save. Sorry, just replying to him. So he's saying, in retrospect, maybe 3-5, 7-5, and 8 would have been better. And I was intending to go 9 there. I'm not sure how differently it worked out. But we have a second tie. Good game so far. Do I have any really cute way to tie? Don't think so. So, 2 ties. I think I can do 1 more. So, hopefully these have been fun to watch. Returning to the theme I happen to have landed on this video. So, there's a bunch of things that talking during your games won't help for. 3 minutes is fine. It'll be tricky talking. But no. Alright, 3 minutes it is. But the 2 things it can really help on is if there's something you want to add to your game that's like something you notice some other players do that you just don't intuitively do, like taking 30 seconds at the start to just check the directions and think about them a little. If you really want to do something like that, talking is a nice way to do so. Another second turn versus Piggyman. Not my jam. How did the last game go? Sorry, I wanna check the last one because I didn't write down all the moves. 4-6-3-7-9, 7-2-6-6-2, 7-7-4-4-4, 6-1-8-7-1, 8-4-4-6 remaining. Cool. But the second thing is, if you think like working on the logic of how you think through positions could use help, it's a really useful thing to do. And like I have some chess students do it too. It is good practice. All right, let's do my hand first. I have a 10 to the left, potentially a kind of big drop off after that. I have a 10 to the right, then an 8 and a 7. Pretty similar. Quite bad going down, 9, 7, 6, 3, 1. And going up, 10, 10, 9, 7, 7. So I want the game to be up. His hand, however, also looks kind of up facing. Also looks kind of up facing. 10s in 3 directions. I also have 10s in 3 directions. 8, 6, 4, 2, 2 going down. That might be even worse than me going down. Though has coverage of my strong cards, right? Like my 9-4-3-A is not a safe corner against his hand. My A2-6-8, A8-6-1 has the plus wall. I can combo back 6A2-7 though. And A8-1-6 and 7, 7-4-4-A can take. I can combo that back 2 ways. 9-4-3-A they could combo back, but A2-6-8 they can't. So A8-1-6 in 7 was a reasonable idea, but only if 8 and 9 are left open. They've immediately blocked 9, making that not the case. I have no threat to take in 6. Also 7-4-4-A covered the options in 9. Totally forgot that. A2-6-8 and 5 is interesting. They're still really weak going down. I would love to exploit that, but I don't see a way. Don't see a way. 7-2-7-A, if I just take it immediately, they take back with 6A2-7. Fair enough. That's annoying. Alright. Do we have ways to set up? Going down is so difficult. I don't like A2-6-8 and 5. I really don't. I think they go 6, I go 8, they go 7. I resign. Gotta find a move. They did give up some power to the left. Thinking A8, 1, 6, and 4 with 7-2-7-A to capture back. Kind of panicky, but didn't find anything else. All right, so 9, 7, 2, 8, and 9. 8, 1, 6, and 4. All right, tricky position. My sort of the one concept I came up with was 7A7-2 is pretty powerful if I can set it up. So I'm just hoping to set it up decently. Also, it's hard for them to capture my card in 4 from 5, and they don't have a capture in 1, so 7A7-2 and 7 is a pretty serious threat, right? And if 7-4-4-A ever lands in 5, I potentially have the combo in 6, so that can get plus walled back, and I also have a combo in 2 that is a little more secure. There are some funny lines where, like, I combo in 2, they play 6A2-7 in 6. comboing everything, but I have a268 for 3 at the end. But I guess they have 5-7-8-7 after that, so the game stays a mess. But I think 7-A-2-7 in 7 is kind of a threat, and was a move I was sort of thinking, I kind of want to make this move, but why didn't I just play that move? Maybe I should have just played that move. 7-A-2-7 and 7. I was thinking, how can I set it up to make it work? I didn't want to give up my threat in 8, but I just did, right? And 7-A-2-7 would have had a threat in 8 with A8-1-6, which I've now already used. So maybe I should have just gone for that. That was sort of where I was thinking how we got here. 7-7-9-3 seems like the only card in my hand that can do certain things, but also that those things just won't matter. It's double numbers I don't think are ever going to play. Its 3 is really poor. The 9 down probably won't be able to take things it actually needs to, right? It can take 3 of the 5 cards, but the other 2 are the ones it's actually going to come into contact with. So I think this is unpleasant. All right. Huh. That looks like a move planning to put something in 5, but 5-7-8-7 can't go in 5 if I still have Carbuncle, right? So I probably want to use 9-4-3-A. That's probably the card I want out of my hand. Maybe I actually want 7-7-9-3 out of my hand. I think I want to keep 7-A-7 too. It's my only recapture in 1. I probably do want to keep 7-7-9-3. It might keep them honest as a threat in 5. Though, like, is it ever going in 5? Probably not. Not if they have 6-A-2-7 ready to land in 6. But will they? Will they have it ready to land in 6? Maybe I want to use 7-7-9-3 and keep 9-4-3-A so that they can't meet 7 in 1. Because if I go 7, I think the main moves for them to go are 1 or 5. I think 2's really unlikely. 3 doesn't make sense to me. 6, I will have given up my threat of going in... if I use 7-7-9-3 of going in 5 while taking something, but A2-6-8's a pretty decent threat there anyway. It is a pretty decent threat there, actually. Pretty strong there. Kind of think I should play 7-7-9-3. I think that's my least useful card. And if I go in 7 and they go in 1, I want to be able to take but still have Carbuncle, so I stop them going 5-7-8-7 in 5 after, because I can hit them back in 6. So I think we're going to go 7-7-9-3 and 7. Reason for looking at this move is it's the kind of standard square to look at here. You know, it's the square that is potentially safe. And also, you know, A8-1-6 is a hard card for him to take. And if I block the 1, it becomes a lot harder, right? This is a square that is really good for him and also good for me. And so if I can occupy it, that's great. And if I leave it for him to occupy, I better be accomplishing something really worthwhile. So 5-7-8-7 and 5, we have the plus. So I'm not too worried about that. If they go in 1, 6-8-2-7 is safe. And I did give up 7-7-9-3 and 5 as a threat in response to that. Maybe that was hasty. Maybe that was hasty. Maybe I had to hold on to that. Yeah, okay, so the problem is 6-8-2-7 and 1. Now, my expected reply, I think, is A2, 6, 8, and 5. It's still 5-5. If... No, it loses. It does not lose. A2, 6, 8, and 5, I don't think loses. So 6A, 2, 7, and 1, A2, 6, 8, and 5. If they go A8, 6, 1, and 2, I think I can play that setup we saw at the very start of 9, 4, 3, 8, and 6. They do combo me back, but that combo flips 2 cards, only 2, and I flip 2 cards with the plus and 6. So I think I survive there. If they go 5, 7, 8, 7, and 2 instead, I'm fine. If they go 5, 7, 8, 7, and 6, I have 7, A, 7, 2, and 2, and I'm fine. If they go A8, 6, 1 in 6, I go 7, A, 7, 2, and 3, and I tie, because they never flipped Carbuncle, weirdly. They don't have a big setup in 3, so I think I have a tie there. Yeah, I think the tie is Carbuncle 5. I'm going to put in his move, double check, but I think we're going to be playing A2, 6, 8, and 5. A2, 6, 8, 5. What's the point? It's 5, 5. Graph in 6. I take from 3 and we tie. 5, 7, 8, 7 in 6. It's 6, 4. We take from 2 and we tie. If they play graph in 2, it's still 5, 5. I have 2 caps. They cap twice back. We tie. 3 is nothing. Whew. Scary games. Scary games. This one I don't feel bad about being on the defensive end of. I think he had a very good starter, that he found a very nice starter, and I was going to be on the back foot this one. But with just 3 minutes on the clock, found a way to survive. Not sure about my move in 4. Maybe should have just gone 7. Maybe that would have been a simpler path. I also thought 7A, 7, 2 was a better card to hold on to. Oh, God. Alright, well, there's the calculation going. Yeah, that's funny. I just assumed the 1 could never take. Nice. Alright, well, I lose that one. Totally missed that. That's pretty funny. Alright, so he played 5, 7, 8, 7, and 6. 7A, 7, 2, and 2. That's what I'm going to play. 8, 6, 1, and 3. 9, 4, 3A remaining. Shame. Completely missed this. Yeah, just wrote that off. Alright, good games to Pigs. He wins this mini match. Nicely played. I probably didn't have a tie there if that wasn't working. That was sort of what I was banking on. But if I did, I'll feel kind of bad I played that so quickly. Because, you know, could have been finding something else. Oh well. Just putting in the cards for the game. Alright. Well, third loss in open this quarter. Alright, I guess now we research. How would I play? I think that's worth doing. On camera. So all rules in effect. And where did I put these games? I just scrolled away from them. Why did I scroll away from them? Piggyman 6-4 was up. I should find it. Yeah. Okay. Let's look through the 3 games quickly and then call it a video. So 5-5, 8-4, 8-8, 2-1, 4-8, 4-6. Just a quick check to see if, you know, any wins were missed or where I should have saved that last game. Almost held that one, but not quite. Right, so we'll look at game 1 first. It takes a little longer to do first moves, so I will probably have it tell us the second move evaluation before we get to the first move. So it says my second move is pretty balanced position after my second move. It thinks his first move was pretty low pressure, so maybe I didn't find the best reply. Medium pressure, but we'll see. He went here. I had 9 ties, 15 losses. I went here. He had 4 ties, 11 losses. He went here. I had but 3 ties. I thought this tied, and it did. And I also thought this tied, which is what I played, and it did. And his starter, 29 moves tied, 11 moves lost. So a slightly below average pressure starter, leading to, I think, a pretty balanced game where he probably has a little more pressure than I do. Let's move on to game 2. 6, 6, 3, 3, 5, 7, 5, 7, 2, 6, 6, 6, 1, 8, 7. 5, 3, 6, 7, 6, 3, 7, 5. 6, 3, 7, 7, 7, 4, 4, 8, 4, 4, 6. Obviously, that last one was purely because it was a 3-minute game, right? Excuses. It is hard to talk while playing 3 minutes, though. What's happening? I missed a number. It wouldn't run. It was throwing up an error message that was deeply worrying because I thought, is this broken? But I missed a number. Okay, he started here. I went far corner. I went far corner both the first 2 games. Far corner, about 50% of his moves tie, 50% lose. He went here, which ties. He was also considering here, which also ties. I was likely going to go something in 9 here. And as long as it was this card or this card, that would have been fine. Thanks again, slightly below average pressure starter. He goes here, I play here. He has 3 ties, that's more than I thought. The other 2 were in 4. Yeah, I tend not to check 4 much, but he finds this one, and indeed, we have narrow path to a tie. All right, nicely played there too. That time I think I got a little of the better of it, and finally, the game where everything went wrong. Gonna take me a sec to put in the cards. So this is probably the only of the games where any mistakes were made, sadly, made by me. All right, he went here. Was it high pressure or did I have lots of paths? So I played here, which is a tie. I blew it later. And the other move I was considering was here, which looks a lot better. A bit better. So I played here. Looks a lot better. After his starter, I have 40 possible moves. 26 of them lost, 14 tied, so this was a well above average pressure starter. Difficult hand to deal with. I found a reply that was tying, but I was going to be the one under pressure. He went here, and I have 2 ties. I must go in 7 with either this or this. I didn't identify this was a card I wanted to use. I did identify this, and everything was good, except I thought A268 in 5 tied, and didn't look further. Now that doesn't mean I would have found the tie. I think if I hadn't thought that, I would find the ties here in 5 or 7 minutes, but not in 3 necessarily. I'd like to think I would, but there's a good chance I wouldn't. Which is to say, the ties were not in 5, they were in 2. Interesting. Because I still have, if they go here, I can just take, and their last card is humorously dead, which I just assumed the one was dead, because, of course. And if they do it this way, I guess I do it this way. I get the tie. And then the other way to tie was this card here, which I was sort of saving to use there, but weird. Point is, this one I still have the combo, so they can't take that immediately. If they go this way, Yeah, I really can exploit the 5-7-8-7 having low ups, which I never really spotted a way to do in the game. So the ties were in 2. Missing a tie on move 6 is pretty bad. But I have a couple excuses, so I don't feel too terrible. Talking while playing, and it being 3-minute, and being really... I guess this is the way it happens sometimes, but being really confident I had found a tie, and just missing this, which is a shame. It's okay. I wish I had blown it on move 4, because I think making mistakes on move 6 is something I shouldn't be doing. So I feel a little bad about that. But I just... If you're going to miss something, this is the kind of thing that I'm going to miss, I guess. Oh well. Good game to Piggy. He saw this instantly, so he clearly had seen the problem with this move. And I didn't check 2. So my order of operations would sort of be check 5 first. I thought this was the tie. I didn't think these tied. And then... I'm not sure actually the order I tend to check 1, 2, and 6. I probably look at 1 first, but only stay on 1 any length of time if it sets something up. So like if I have a move that sets up against 3, sets up against 1 and sets up against 9, then I'll go 3, but otherwise I'm going to kind of jump to 2 or 6. Here, I probably would have looked at 6 before 2, actually. Because I sort of have safer-ish cards for there. But they're not safe, and pretty quickly what I should realize, and hopefully I would have with more time or without thinking this, is like I need... Yeah, the logic is pretty clear, and hopefully I'd have gotten there. I don't think I did, obviously, because I thought about 5. But if I'm going to give up 5, I need to be able to respond in 6. I need to have A268 ready to respond in 6. I also need to kind of... I guess anything I do I'm threatening to block 5. But I would have then looked at, I think, these 2 moves. And hopefully I would have spotted this one holds and this one doesn't. I don't think I would have found this one. I think that wouldn't have come from the logic of the position naturally for me. Alright, so congratulations to Piggy. Wins this little mini match. And hope you enjoyed the games.